One thing that came up very clearly was that we needed to look at the customer from a new perspective. The lives of our customers, the lives of everyone that we kind of serve, they're living a bigger and bigger slice of their life digitally. This merger of digital versus non-digital, right? Before COVID, you can look at it as almost running in a parallel track. At some point in time, it will come together even more. But I think with the COVID situation, it forced that merger. When we look at our distribution, our agency force, it was very clear to us that it wasn't going to be a case of competing against digital. As in digital, as in direct and all. It's not about competing against digital, but rather it's competing in digital. So what does that mean? It means that we need to bring our agency force into that space, bring the agent's presence into the digital lives of the customer. We're still going to have the face-to-face. That is not going to go away. It's a basic human need to be able to connect physically. But I think the activity, the value that the customer is looking for will increasingly be sort of present and needed in the digital space. Building what some people will call a hybrid agency, hybrid rep. So that's how we looked at sort of the agency part of the strategy. There's another part of that digital strategy, which is we need to make a distinction between what we call doing digital and being digital. Because the doing digital part is a lot easier, but the being digital part takes a bit more time. They are distinct but related in that sense, because as we embark on doing things differently, creating new digital services, we will realize that this becomes the concrete examples of what doing digital means. So hopefully we bring more and more people into the process and thereby creating a sort of a more culture shift, right, that is more digital in nature. So we look at the relationship with the customer in sort of three areas. One is in terms of acquisition, right? How do we reach out to new segments of customers? How do we reach out to customers that prefer maybe increasingly a different mode of interaction? The second part that we look at is engagement, right? Engagement with the customer. The way that the insurance product is, when it comes to engagement, it's not something concrete that you can touch and feel, right? There's no immediate gratification that you can get from buying an insurance policy. You buy and you hope that you get peace of mind, you get better assurance, but you hope never to come to a situation that you have to make a claim. So in terms of the engagement, then it becomes a challenging part. How do you engage with the product after you bought it? You'll start paying the premium, and then hopefully at the end, either you get the savings returns back or you event of a claim. So we need to relook at engagement as with the customer. So that's how we started with looking at two sort of engagement platforms. One was GETGREAT, which is really creating a social platform for people to be able to come together to help each other or encourage each other to stay active. But we're also trying to move these sort of points and rewards that they have into the products that they have bought. Right? So if you're a good Fit Edge, so we launched the idea of Fit Edge, that if you get better Fit Edge, improvements, you get points that you can redeem for, extra points that you can redeem if there are certain products. The other part was we reckon also that there will be this opportunity for us to look at engaging the customer more through the lifestyle and through the rewards and do with different partner merchants and all that. And that's how we had the upgrade. So these were the two initial engagement platforms that we put out to the market. And the third one is something that is very important as well, which is the transactional part. How do the customer become more easy to make a transaction with us? We had a long debate, but eventually we decided that there is a role for a GE app. The debate was because so on one hand, would people sort of use a GE app and download it because insurance has got nothing much that you can do with it, right? But on the other hand, as I said, the product side, right? There is some existing product like ILP that actually offers a very good engagement platform on the product itself. because the underlying funds that you invested, you do want to keep track of them. Maybe not every day, but there is that level of interaction and engagement that we can build on it. That's why the GE app will have a key feature around ILP, how you engage with ILP product. The other one that we are working very hard to do now is to reimagine the claims process. Because claims to me is one area of the transaction part that it's currently very form-based. First is trying to get the forms, second is trying to fill up the forms, and third, the documents that you need. And there's so much pain actually the customer goes through, right? Even if they ask the agent to help them facilitate that process, even the agent has got a lot of work to do, right? So because of that many friction, we try to reimagine how claims could be like for customers. We'll progressively see how we can move many of these transactions online. We also look at not just the front end. So there's the front end with the distributor, with the customer, but also on the back end, right? In terms of straight-through processing, in terms of looking for what I call service recall. I mean, it's not I coined the word, but service failures. For example, call volumes coming through the call center. The natural question would be, oh, I've got more questions coming, more calls coming through, I increase the capacity, answer the phone call faster. That's not the sustainable way to do things. We need to start looking at, through analyzing the kind of request that comes in, the kind of question that come in, and ask ourselves, could this have been prevented in the first place? Is it because of the way we design our service process, right, experience that created this problem? Right? It's a failure. If we can solve that failure point, the customer don't even need to call us. So there are a lot of these things that as part of the digital team, we work very closely with the ops people and the product colleagues, try and iron out some of these. The future holds many opportunities and as well as many threats. The first question that we ask ourselves is there a role still for a financial advisor? Is there a role still for the insurance agent? Because at the end of the day, the customer engaging in the insurance product is going to be something long term. So that level of being able to have somebody that you can trust, somebody that you know, a face, is very important. As each of the customers go through different phases of their lives, their financial needs will change, right? And not everybody will have exactly a cookie-cut solution. So the financial advisor's role will still be there to help the customer to manage the risk. I think it's financial advisors must more and more become financial advisors, but also for insurance will be more and more in terms of risk managers. How do they help the customer to manage the risk that they have? You go through different parts of their life, there are different risks, right? So the role must change in terms of not just financial advisory, advising on certain products and so on and so forth, but also to help the customer to realize what are the risks in your life. How do you manage this? Can this be managed within, we're using insurance contract, for example? And the way that they deliver, execute that role will also change. There will be a bigger need for them to be able to engage the customer digitally, fulfill the requests of the customer digitally, and they also need to start looking at what else are they competing with in the digital space in terms of share of mind of financial advisory. How do they make their presence in the virtual space a lot stronger so that customer, hey, this person knows his craft. So I think the role will still be there, the role will shift, will change, right? And the way that deliver the role will also have to change. But there will still be a job in that sense, a role, an important role for the financial advisors.